You wake up in the morning and you already feel like you've been hit by a truck. But your chronic fatigue and brain fog aren't a lack of vitamins. It's a direct consequence of ignoring how ancient humans actually ate. Today, science proves that your morning routine is in a violent, genetic clash with 300,000 years of human evolution. On a genetic level, your body is still hardwired for the Stone Age. Forcing a morning meal literally goes against our biological design, causing your brain to hoard energy instead of releasing it. Today, you will find out how prehistoric humans actually ate and whether copying them is the ultimate hack to cure brain fog and chronic fatigue forever. Why lacking an appetite in the morning isn't a sign of illness, but your genetic code working flawlessly until you ruin it with your first bite. Who actually brainwashed us into eating 3 meals a day, pocketing billions of dollars off the myth of the most important meal of the day? Let's look at how our bodies are designed from an evolutionary standpoint. Imagine the morning of a human living on this planet 300,000 years ago. They woke up completely starved, and that is exactly when their body unlocked peak performance. While old-school medicine assumed that hunger weakens you, evolutionary biologists have proven the exact opposite. A state of light morning fasting is the ultimate trigger for human productivity. How did prehistoric humans actually eat? They were opportunistic omnivores. Their diet wasn't a clean paleo menu from a trendy cafe. It was a brutal mix of wild, fibrous roots, seasonal berries, insects, and highly prized organ meats from big game. But the key wasn't what they ate, it was when and how. They never grazed throughout the day. They had no stable food supply, so they survived on a strict cycle of scarcity and abundance. When you wake up on an empty stomach, your brain isn't starved for glucose. Instead, your body activates its primal foraging mechanism. This triggers a massive spike in the neuropeptide orexin and dopamine. Orexin dictates absolute alertness, while dopamine drives intense motivation and razor-sharp focus. Your cortisol levels, the hormone of action, peak naturally. Lacking an appetite in the morning isn't an illness. It's your genetic code working flawlessly. Your ancestors couldn't afford to be sluggish digesters in the morning. In a morning fasting window, your focus sharpens, reaction times plummet, and analytical thinking goes into overdrive. The body enters high alert mode. Our ancestors desperately needed this mental clarity to track down food, dig up roots, make split-second decisions, and survive. A hungry brain is the most evolutionarily advanced, precise tool on Earth. But what happens when a heavy breakfast slams the brakes on this perfectly calibrated machine? The second you consume your morning carbs or protein, this finely tuned ecosystem instantly collapses. The brain receives a definitive signal. Mission accomplished. Resources secured. At that exact moment, orexin levels in your brain drop to absolute zero. Your alertness and concentration are switched off like a light bulb. Ancient humans ate their heavy meals only after a successful hunt or forage, usually late in the day, transitioning straight into rest and cellular repair. So who actually brainwashed us into breaking this 300,000-year-old biological code? Who forced 3 meals a day onto us? The answer isn't biology. The 3 meals a day schedule was invented during the Industrial Revolution to fit factory clock shifts, turning humans into predictable fuel consumers. But the biggest lie, that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, was engineered by General Foods and John Harvey Kellogg. It was a literal ad campaign designed to sell massive surpluses of processed corn and grain. They pocketed billions of dollars off a myth that fundamentally glitched our evolutionary biology. By forcing ourselves to digest heavy, processed carbs first thing in the morning, we trap our brains in a permanent post-breakfast crash, trading our sharp, ancestral edge for chronic fatigue and brain fog. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. See you next time.